We start with a stunning months-long operation involving multiple law enforcement agencies across Louisiana that rescued 5 missing and endangered teenage girls from sex trafficking rings. Several of them were found in seedy motels and apartments living with adult men. The youngest girl was just 14 years old. In Baton Rouge, the Marshals saved 2 sisters aged 15 and 16. Operation Boudat, as it's called in a nod to the New Orleans Saints' Who Dat Nation, is a joint op between the Marshals, New Orleans Task Force, Louisiana State Police, and several local police departments. In addition to rescuing the teen girls and getting them home to their families and social services, the operation also netted 30 arrests. More than half of those guys were felony sex offender registration violations. One of the men arrested, 34-year-old Lorenzo Oliver, a Tier 3 sex offender wanted by New Orleans police for the alleged rape of a 12-year-old girl. Joining me now is Sheriff Joseph Lopinto, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, one of the agencies heavily involved in this operation. Sheriff, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show. Appreciate it. This sounds like an incredibly important operation. And so I want you to take me through some of the rescues of these girls, starting with the one, if you would, from your parish, a 16-year-old.
Yeah, it's it's a credible situation that we've been partnering with them and the Marshals for 10 years now. The incident with ours is a 16-year-old runaway who stole a parent's car, a relative's car, a gun from the residence, and really went out on Bourbon Street. We're in Jefferson Parish, which is right next door to Orleans Parish in New Orleans, and had ties to Bourbon Street. Was living with several adults, including one female stripper, and taking advantage of these youths and really putting them in a bad situation. It gives us the opportunity when we know they're missing, when you have relatives that report them as missing or runaway, that gives us the opportunity to try to find them. And we have a 16-year-old in our case, but we have a 14 and another 16 and 2 other 15-year-olds that, in similar situations.
I want you to take me through each one of these because I think each one is so important. I got to tell you, when I saw this story, I almost couldn't believe it. I'd say that I couldn't believe it, meaning I was both so horrified and so relieved at the same time about what had happened here. The fact that there was a 14-year-old girl involved. Tell me about that one.
A 14-year-old living in a New Orleans motel that's known for prostitution, probably being pimped out. The really sad one is the 15-year-old, which is even the worst. Dan, it was a runaway that we've been able to identify that her own pimp was murdered. That's a situation where, now the person that she's relying on that's taking advantage of it is murdered. So where does she go afterwards? So she's living with a 17-year-old boyfriend, meeting with adult males, obviously involved in prostitution. And it's one of those things that it's the seedier side of life that most people don't get to see. And we're lucky in law enforcement to really go out there and hopefully make some differences. Each one of those situations is horrifying.
Before I ask you about the sisters, talk to me about the leads you got. Like, how did you know where to go? How did you know, that these were places where you might find some of these girls?
Well, each one is different, right? Law enforcement in general, the Marshal Service is going to be able to try to track people, whether they're on social media accounts, whether it's cell phones that we can track, whether we can figure out who their associates are. So every one of them is a little bit different. I don't necessarily have the specifics on each particular case, but we work with Crime Stoppers to see what tips, working with the parents, trying to figure out who were they last with, who do we think they're with, and then where can we locate them? Where should they be? And those are different scenarios for each case.
Tell me about the sisters. We're describing them as the 4th and 5th victims just because that's how it was laid out in the release from the U.S. Marshals Service. But tell us about those sisters.
Both of them were missing from Baton Rouge. They were found also in Baton Rouge, staying in an apartment. But, can you imagine a 15 and 16-year-old living on their own? Obviously living with other adults and being pimped out for their use, unfortunately. You're glad you find them. Many of them made the choice to run away from their homes, but they don't understand the consequences that they can get into at that young age, at 14, 15, and 16 years old. And these are the worst of the worst, finding them in these conditions and then trying to reunite them from something that they ran away from also, really takes a taxing toll on not only our system, but the girls themselves.
And to be clear, some of these girls are going home, but some of them go to social services as well, right?
That is correct. I mean, in many of the cases, they have parents that are looking for them. In other cases, they don't have parents that are looking for them. And we're trying to find the best situation for them.
All right, let's talk about some of the guys who were arrested here. 30 guys arrested. Tell me about sort of some of the worst of the worst who you got here.
Well, most of them are going to have the worst of the worst, meaning they were convicted of crimes, they were registered sex offenders, and they either failed to register, they didn't show up, or they've just absconded completely. One was in a homeless shelter living under a false name. So you're going to have we have one, I think it was a rape of a 7-year-old that, was out of jail, was a registered sex offender. The crime may have happened many years ago, but still we need to keep track of that person, and they just completely ignore the system. And so that puts them back behind bars, as they deserve to do for their crimes that they committed.
What about the guys, though, who you're finding in the hotels or the motels with these girls?
Well, again, a lot of the times, we know what's going on, but we also are trying to prove a case based off of the witnesses from the girls that we're finding. So it takes a little bit longer because you're trying to do forensic interviews with girls that are reliant upon these guys for their day-to-day operation, their day-to-day livelihood. And so it depends on how much cooperation we get from them, because many times they're not cooperative because of who they're dealing with on a regular basis. So that things are going on, and that's what makes this type of work very difficult. We are not there for the incident. We are there after the fact and trying to build a case on these individuals that may or may not want to cooperate with us at all. And so although it's a rescue to us, because we know we're taking them out of a worse situation, sometimes the crime never really goes through because the witnesses that we need don't want to come forward.
That must be incredibly frustrating.
It is, Dan. And in this line of work, the sheriff's office or any law enforcement is an agency that we put pieces together. We collect the facts, and sometimes we may know what the outcome is, but we don't necessarily have the facts to be able to prove it.
All right, Sheriff, thank you very much for your time. This is a really important operation. I was moved by how successful the operation was. And obviously, anytime something involves kids, and in this case, it's girls, being sexually abused, it is so heartbreaking. And it is such a relief to know that you and your colleagues are out there trying to do the hard work to rescue them. So thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.